The Quran operates as a closed information field, a self-referential structure where data is stored and processed across multiple registers. We can observe the mechanics of this field by looking at the account of noose traversal in Surah 29, verse 14. The text establishes this traversal using two distinct variables, elf sanatin, or 1,000, and hamsina aman, or 50. Traditionally, this is read through the lens of simple arithmetic, subtracting the 50 from the 1,000 to arrive at a chronological lifespan of 950 years. This calculation rests on a specific assumption, that these two units are interchangeable. However, the internal logic of the book treats this subtraction as a dimensional error. Throughout the text, the vocabulary of duration is strictly segregated. Sanatin and aman represent two different physical registers. When we treat them as identical scalar units, we lose the underlying physics model the text is attempting to communicate. Viewing the universe as a simple, flat timeline effectively hides its true architecture and the reader's coordinate within it. The first variable, Sanah, belongs to the deterministic D10 metric. It is governed by adad and hisab, the logic of number and reckoning. Within the system, Sanah functions as linear friction. It is the day-to-day ticking of time against the finite human frame. The second variable, Amam, belongs to the I9 metric. This register represents orbital and cyclic events, full phase completions, and the reversal of systemic decay. Because these units occupy different topological registers, they cannot be reconciled through standard subtraction. Subtracting Amam from Sanah is the mathematical equivalent of trying to subtract a value on the y-axis from a value on the x-axis. The operator ilah functions as the bridge between these axes, a topological operation placing the two registers in tension. In this model, 1,000 Sanah of linear friction are subjected to 50 of phase cycles. Accessing the reality of time in this system requires the activation of aql, the rigorous reasoning described in verse 10:100. This leads to a central question. What specific mechanism scales the human frame of reckoning to the scale of the divine ascent? We find the derivation through three textual anchors, beginning with Surah 22, verse 47. This schematic shows the baseline ratio at rest. Verse 47 establishes a metric where a single day is equivalent to 1,000 years. The second anchor is found in Surah 32, verse 5. This verse puts the resting ratio into motion, defining an active ascent vector. The final anchor is provided in Surah 70, verse 4. Verse 4 locks the ratio for the angels and the ruh, 1 to 50,000. This central operator reconciles the two scales. Multiplying the 1,000 scale friction by the 50-fold operator of the outputs the exact 50,000 scale field. The 50 in Surah 29 represents the exact topological fold required to align human friction with the field of the ruh. These ratios describe the physical behavior of what we can call the dual caustic universe. The system possesses an invariant ceiling, the arash described in Surah 11, verse 7. This spatial model shows the arash as a plane of perpetual rest. It is the only component of the system immune to temporal fluctuation. The reality below this plane behaves like a pendulum, swinging between the deterministic and indeterministic fields. At its lowest point, the swing reaches maximum compression at the 2187 coordinate. Mid-swing, it traverses the zero entropy state of the cave at 1810. The upward extremes reach the junction at 1863, and the summits recorded at 1144 and 7143. In the lower field, the most extreme event is the system flip at 1574, a total inversion of the existing architecture. While the lower fields flip and swing, the plane of the arash remains perfectly stable. What we perceive as time is the physical sensation of being carried through these violent swings, while disconnected from the stable canopy above. Every reader is situated within the mass of the lower pendulum. We experience the deterministic Sanah as oppressive horizontal friction. This is the exhaustion of the trial, the sensation of being ground down by a physical environment defined by time. If we merely count the years as they pass, we remain subject to the violent phase swings of the lower system. This passive endurance is the trap of tagut, the assumption that the test of life is a matter of waiting for linear time to elapse. In this physics model, endurance without navigation leads to systemic collapse. Time is not a neutral medium. In the register of the Sanah, it is the force designed to exert maximum pressure on the human frame. The universe contains a specific operational shift available to the reader, the activation of the 1912 command. Surah 19, verse 12 commands the reader to hold the book with strength. This command establishes an active, topological grip on the field. This grip functions as the 50-fold operator. As the horizontal lines of friction are pierced by this vertical axis, the linear pressure of the Sanah is nullified. The grip enables the direct translation of linear endurance into vertical ascension. This action moves the reader orthogonally, snapping their trajectory off the swinging pendulum and toward the invariant canopy. Use the reasoning of 10-100. Recognize the scalar illusion for what it is. The count of the years and the cycles of the field have already converged at the boundary. The Arash is stable. The question is whether you will activate 1912.